I call this the handle. It's the part where you had the hook. Again, just like the other rod, I just start to straighten it out. And actually where I get it and hold it in my hand, I hold it like that. Now let's see if I can turn my hand where you can see how I hold this thing here. See, I let it rest against the palm. Oops, it's trying to act on me already here. I hold it with the handle against the palm of my hand, and it just barely goes over the top of my finger. In general, I like to angle them down so that it takes a lot of pressure for anything to move it, so that you know that something's really starting to move it. And then I'm going to go ahead and see what we can do here. Okay. And again, I'm going to angle them down, slightly down. Generally, I do this around my waist just so that because the camera's high, I'm showing it up high so that you can do it. And you can see that the ends are still fairly crooked. Okay, now then, the trick to making these things work is you have to picture what you want to see or find in your mind's eye. I have found car keys, I have found tombstones, I have found graves, but you have to have a pretty good picture of it in your mind, and these things seem to work with, be connected to your mind in some way. So try to picture what you're looking for. If you're looking for a grave, picture a grave. If you're looking for an underground pipeline, picture the pipeline. And by the way, speaking of pipelines, that's how I learned to use these dowsing rods. I was just a very young man in high school when I learned, and we were on a survey crew. We were looking at some maps. My dad owned the company, so I was very fortunate in that I had access to him. Could voice my opinion a lot on a lot of things. So anyway, we were out one day on a surveying some property, and it had pipelines on it. And so the survey party chief said that showed us where they were on the map. And he used his dowsing rods, and he says they're not there. These are located in the wrong spot. And so he got a hammer and some stakes, and he staked out where the pipelines were. And being young and foolish, not knowing any better, I argued with him, and so my reward was he gave me a shovel, and he says, well, dig them up and find them for yourself. So I spent about 6 hours with a shovel, and I dug down about 4 to 5 feet to get to these pipelines, and I dug this trench about 15 feet long, which was the area involved over the survey where they were located and where he had located them. So anyway, when I found the pipelines and undug and uncovered them, and they were exactly where he said they were, I said, teach me how to use these dowsing rods, and he did. And I have had a lifetime of using these things. I've used them in chemical plants to locate underground conduit, to locate pipelines and stuff, and I spent a year at Dow Chemical in Freeport. When Carla came in, all their drawings were on Mylar, and the vault got covered up in water. In Mylar, when it's put in water, it cleans all the markings off the paper, and it becomes a fresh, clean sheet. So all their records were lost. They didn't know where the underground lines were, and I spent a year out there locating underground lines for them. So anyway, now we're going to apply these to ghost hunting. And Kay Eileen, my wife and my love, if you are here and present with me, please come forward. Please come in front of the dowsing rods. You can see I don't have a grip on them. Kay, come closer. Come closer, my love. I know you're here. Come closer. I'm trying to demonstrate these things. As you can see, I'm still pointing down. They're held in a downward position, so it takes force. She has to be walking toward me in order to make these dowsing rods cross. Come closer, hon. A little closer. If any of you are gifted in the psychic ways, you may be able to see her or hear her. Come closer, my love. Come give me a kiss. Thank you. Now, if you would, back up and show them how they uncross. Back up. And we're going to do some more experiments later, but we're going to have lots of opportunities here. Back up. Back up some more. Back up some more. Keep going backwards. I want to uncross the rods. Keep going backwards, son. Keep going backwards. Back up some more. Yeah, I know. Back up some more. I want to uncross the rods for everybody. Keep going. Keep going. A little more. So now you've seen a demonstration of how these things work, and they will work just like that for you. I promise. In some of the ghost hunting classes that I've taught in person, I've had, this is something that really wins them over, because they see for themselves, they can feel, you can feel the power in the rods, you feel them working, and so it really is helpful to you and helps you learn and become convinced that this is real, and it does work, and I can assure you it does work. You have my 100% promise, and it'll work for you. I haven't had anybody in any of my classes in person not be able to do this. I'm only concerned right now because you are online and I can't see what you're doing, and you may have some issues, and I may have to remind you how to hold the rods in your hand, or how to keep them angled downward a little bit. You can buy some of these things commercially. The ones they offer on the internet, some of them have nice little wooden handles on them so that they swivel real good. They have a little ball in there and the metal goes up and hits that ball and they'll swivel. I don't like them. I like being able to feel the transmission and the push in the rod as it turns in my hand. So that's just my input. Later I'll show you my dowsing rods that are made out of bronze stick, and I just kind of prefer the bronze for some reason. I feel like it's more electrically conductive, and they seem to be more intense to me. But again, these, as you've seen, these coat hangers work perfectly well. You can do it with any type of wire. So any wire that you have handy, you can make it work. All right, next we're going to go into the apps on the cell phone, so that you'll be able to be a real ghost hunter, and you can start doing some of your own investigations on a trial basis. Thank you.